This is Root TV Nigeria. I am Oluwatobi Enito. With me is the spokesperson of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Mr. Kasim Afegwa. Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Tell us, the inconclusive elections declared by INEC in some states in Nigeria, what's your take on that? Is that a step in the right direction?
Well, that has also helped to give INEC a new name. Inconclusive National Electoral Confusion, INEC. Because whether you like it or not, people are quite angry over the turnout of events. Like I said in other platforms, you cannot, give value to zero when zero has come as a constant denominator in cancelled elections. Once you have cancelled certain votes and you call them cancel as a result of certain factors, maybe legal infractions, maybe abuse of process or procedure, maybe violence, then why do you have to give value to that zero vote? Because once you cancel them, they become zero. Now, when you have finished doing all your calculations, you say, no, you want to still give value to that zero by declaring such elections inconclusive, because as a function of your cancellation ab initio, there's the room for you to do another rerun. That, to me, is an abuse of process. I think INEC will need to help Nigeria and Nigerians, to make our electoral process quite attractive, very edible, very credible, free and fair, so that the beauty of democracy as a participatory indulgence can fully be ingrained. Because what we are having now is making a lot of people lose hope. And that's why you see voters' apathy. In the last governorship and House of Assembly elections, there was no turnout of voters. Go across the country. Except somebody doesn't want to tell you the truth. Even in my own locality, there was low turnout. Because they tell you that even the one we did before, what happened? We didn't see anything coming out of it. Our votes didn't count. There's a victory at the polling units. There's another victory, which is a forceful one, at the collation center. So two categories of elections. And that was why we were expecting that the president would give who append his signature on the electoral bill that was presented before him, because some of these things were encapsulated into that body of laws that will help to strengthen the processes of election and the electoral process. But for whatever ulterior motive or whatever selfish reason, he refused to do that. We need a whole lot of electoral reform, and 4 years is very close by. You may think that it's far off. 2023 is by the corner. INEC must put its ass together and start to move at the pace that the country will know. We cannot tolerate another round of elections where card readers will not even work. We're talking about card readers. A lot of places, card readers did not work. They were just doing thumb printing. We have seen the visuals on social media. We have seen it elsewhere. That shouldn't be the beauty of democracy. That should be like taking away the beauty of democracy.
Now, the All Progressive Congress have described Atiku's decision to seek legal redress on the result declared. We declared Muhammadu Buhari as president. They describe his action as selfish, having no interest of Nigerians at heart. You being the spokesperson for the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
The integrity of the entire electoral process. And I feel so ashamed that the APC will sit back and issue such a statement, such a careless statement, such a ridiculous statement, a statement that should be discountenanced by any rational, reasonable being. Taking inspiration from his own candidate, President Muhammadu Buhari, in 2003 he went to court. In 2007 he went to court. In 2011 he went to court. The only time he didn't go to court was 2015 when he won the election. And the man who lost in that election said he was not even going to court. So what is wrong in going to court? Why has going to tribunal or going to court become so much of an issue? If you say the election that produce your own victor is one that fulfills all the conditionalities of credibility, freeness, and fairness.
According to them, they believe this election was a free and fair
Then why would they use their whims and caprices to run into such conclusion? They should allow the tribunal to test it. They should allow us to advance our reasons, present our evidences, so that the issues can be sorted out, through the relevant courts. But you don't ram yourself down our throat, and you want us to just keep quiet. I find it very laughable, very ridiculous that APC can sit back and even issue such a statement. You see, going to tribunal, which is better, go to tribunal or taking the laws into our hands? We said, no, we're not going to take the laws into our hands. We are law-abiding citizens. We are freeborn of this country. We are participants in the electoral process. We want to seek legal redress so that we can put forward all our observations and test them within the ambit of the law. That way, it will help the process of jurisprudence and also give us victory.
Subsequent elections that will still be conducted, what should they take a cue from? What do you believe? Where do you find the lapses?
You see, I think we need to come up with a technology that will provide answers to a lot of the issues we are having. If ATM machine can work so efficiently in cities and villages where banks operate, we should look for a technology that is near that can be mounted, and once you vote, it takes your thumbprint. That's it, and life can go on without anybody, closing all our borders, both seaport and airport and all of that. I've observed elections in some other countries where you won't even know the elections are going on, because there's some level of honesty in the expectations of the people and the conduct of the umpires. And so to that extent, 4 years is not too far, but it's also a long time to plan very well. I would expect that our engineers, professors who can articulate and who can do certain things, should come up with a technology that will help us to, create the right response to the situation we find ourselves. Because it's quite ridiculous that the card readers that we thought would provide answer to or response to some of these abuses, infractions, is the same card reader that didn't work. People were just oscillating. Oh, it's been programmed to fail. So because it didn't work, it was not, the entire process was subject to abuse. People were just thumbprinting and doing all manners of things. And now we are trying to raise queries on those curious figures. One political party is telling us that why should you go to court? If you don't go to court or tribunal, where do you expect us to go? We are not going to take laws into our hands. We are Nigerians. We love this country. But we are saying that it's about time for us to get a result-driven, utility-driven leadership for this country. We cannot be detained by a leadership that can't even speak to the issues in contemporary times. This is 21st century war where cyber intelligence and all of that, help to quickly form an opinion and take decisions on how to move forward. We cannot be rotating on the same axis and doing this Baba go slow mentality, and you want us to move forward as a country. No. The language that is coming from the presidency is language that is even killing our morale. You're telling us tougher times are ahead. That's not a language I want to hear from a president in the 21st century world. I want to hear a language that speaks to the emotion, that speaks to the potentialities of every individual in the country, so that you can market hope for them and give them assurances that better times are ahead. If with our 91 million extreme poverty cases, we are still happy about it, then there's a problem with the mentality of those who are presided over us and those who think that they are chieftains of political parties called the APC.
We most sincerely thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, and I have been speaking to the spokesperson of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Kasim Afegbua, who has shared his thoughts on the just concluded general elections, the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. He has accused INEC, Nigeria's electoral umpire, and the ruling All Progressives Congress of manipulating the electoral process. He also insists that the party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, and alongside the PDP, would go to court to reclaim what he calls the stolen mandate of Atiku Abubakar. Well, such strong words, and we will leave it here for today. I have been your host, Oluwatobi Enitan, for Roots TV, Nigeria.